On this week's episode of Damsels in the DMs.
But also, even if you haven't gotten to the point you want to be, the only way you're going to or have a chance to is to know and manifest and be as confident as possible that it will happen.
Yeah.
Even if it seems so far-fetched.
Yeah.
And like every time I've had that attitude, it's ended up working itself out.
I love that. I'm
So
going to
just-
start doing that.
You have to.
This message is intended as a reminder that we are not licensed professionals, not psychiatrists or psychologists. If you have a serious problem, please seek professional help. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255.
There's some damsels in the DM.
Yes, queen.
Tell us what's the vibe. There's some damsels in the DM. Please tell us what's the vibe. DMs, yeah we see them, yeah we read them. DMs, we don't need them, we just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Damsels in the DMs. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Ash, and today we had one of my other lifelong friends, Sanjana Nayak. I met her when we were still babies, and she works for Google, which is very impressive as it is, but then she's also an R&B singer-songwriter, and she is the most talented human being that I've ever met. I remember when I first met her, we'll get into it, but when I first heard her sing, I literally was like, I don't know anyone that can do that.
Wow.
Like I didn't, no one in my life. I knew my brother knows how to sing really well, but he's also a guy, and I just didn't know any like women who knew how to sing that well that were Indian or just not even outside of the Indian culture. Like I had no one in my life that was a singer.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, and you guys may know her from TikTok or Instagram. She was doing a lot of really cool collabs on there. And you may also get to learn about Ash's new profession as a dancing dentist. So
Yeah,
this episode's
apparently
full of surprises.
Lauren has now typecasted me as a dancing dentist.
I don't think that was me. I think that was like you two really finding that on this episode.
So I will be changing my branding, and I'm going to go back to dental school. It's been decided today. Parents will be very happy, I think.
We know that we brought you one rebrand. We're going to be bringing you another rebrand, and it's going to be all about Ash's journey to dentistry.
Yeah. We're actually doing rebrands all around because I'm rebranding my skincare brand. It's just a 2023 thing. It's,
Yeah.
we're rebranding.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it so you can hear some more about these beautiful rebrands.
Let's do it. I've known this girl
Too
since she
far
was
back.
way too far back. I've known her since she was 19 and I was
19.
23, and now I'm 30.
I was full on Gen Zing back then.
You were full on a teenager when I met you.
I was literally a young adult.
Yes. You couldn't even drink. Like I
couldn't even
remember
I had your ID.
she had my ID.
Oh my God.
I had your passport ID. It wasn't
Yeah.
even like
Oh
your
my
license.
God,
It was
you
your
did.
passport ID.
I thought about this like a month ago because I just got global
you think
entry. No. So
Can I
I
swear?
gave
Yeah, you can.
you
yeah.
can swear.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, sorry. That's why I
Was it
thought
the one
about
that had
it.
the hole in it, like the passport?
I had that one too, I'm pretty sure. Or I had someone's
You
with a
have
hole in it.
my old driver's license, and you have my She had my passport.
Because you
ID.
needed two forms of ID
Yes,
back then.
and I gave you. This is how much I loved you. I gave you my
Loved.
passport.
I'm fucking dead.
I loved her past tense so much that I
Loves to
gave.
crease little bitch. She doesn't identity theft. Sorry. Like,
Yeah, until all of my shit got stolen, my bank account
Totally
got
wrecked
frozen.
you.
My credit score is 0. No, it's 1.
at my house now.
It's
Like,
1 now.
oh man, is this like
Yeah.
a trap? Like, am I about to get like punked or something?
Yeah,
Yes. This is
we're
all
about
a
to
joke.
serve
This
you
is
for
my
identity
revenge.
fraud.
This is
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out.
Your manager's in on it too, by the way.
Oh my god, this is my actual biggest fear. Like,
Okay, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
I want you to just tell us a little bit about you,
Okay.
what you currently do, where you're at, just anything you want us to know.
okay. I mean, I feel like you already know a lot of this, but in general,
I don't.
You don't.
Yeah,
They
Lauren
don't.
doesn't.
They don't.
We
You
don't.
don't. All right. My name is Sanj. In layman's terms, my name is Sanj.
Okay, they know your name.
That's the bare minimum
it.
that they
That's
know,
all.
but
So I'm in the day, I work full time in advertising strategy at Google.
Which is
And
amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You had humble beginnings.
Definitely. I actually worked in this building.
What? Wait, it was
No
actually
way.
this building?
That was my first job out of college. I worked in this building.
Wow,
I was in tech recruiting.
Wow.
I was driving all around LA trying to secure meetings with big executives of like entertainment companies and trying to help them fill roles at their companies and have them sign on with our staffing firm. It was, I will say now, it was an awful job. I don't care if you
circle
see
for
this.
you.
It was awful.
No, she was saying on text, she was like, that's really full circle.
Yeah.
It was, oh, it's absolutely full circle.
Because
even
now you're
getting
literally
dropped off here today, I was like, so nostalgic. It was
Yeah.
it was a good feeling. It was like, damn, now I'm coming here to see like one of my longtime
I
friends
know.
record a dope ass podcast, talk about like how we've grown. I love it.
With your manager?
With
It's
my manager,
amazing. Yeah.
and she's also a best friend from like high school too.
Oh my
so-
God,
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
How
Always have
cool.
good people around you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always have
And
good
also,
people.
like, I love that because you have that trust, you have that bond with someone, and she's got your back 1,000%, and
Yeah.
you've got hers as well, which
Yep.
is so cool.
Yep.
Okay, so
So full-time in creative strategy at Google in the day, and then my second job is being an R&B artist. And I think that in general, music has always been a core part of my life. I learned how to sing at the ripe age of 4. And then going into just like my life in general has been shaped by music, whether it was like music in films or music, like with the stuff my family introduced me to, the taste they had. It was always such an integral part of my life, and now it's become a core part of my life and like how I express myself and how I identify as a person.
That's
So just
honestly-
the main thing now is that I'm working on releasing my debut album, which will be releasing in a
Amazing.
month, which is very exciting, and I've never released
we have a
project.
name?
We actually do. Should I drop it? Do I have permission? Yeah. Okay. So
I saw a head going this way, and I was like, please.
so the name of the album is going to be Nightingale.
Okay.
And the significance behind that is my mom used to call me Nightingale. She still does. It's been my name since I was like a little kid. And a nightingale is a bird that sings, but not just sings. The voice of a nightingale is very emotional. It elicits this like almost pain and makes you kind of croon for a feeling of like emotion. And so I think the nightingale really exemplifies what this album will make you feel, but also kind of how I express myself as an artist. I have this weird ass goofy personality in real life, but then like when I get into my art,
She's
I'm
a total weirdo.
I'm
She's
a
the most
weirdo.
weird person I've ever met, and I think that's why we bonded, because we're like,
Yes.
we're just two weirdos, like, living life.
just living life, and like people who like see me like this and then listen to my music are like, are you good? Are you okay? Like, do you need therapy? And I'm like, I'm working on it soon.
Are you on medication?
Are you? Exactly.
We all need therapy, so.
But that's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
duality. You get to live your life, and then you also get this art form where you can express all the other parts of you that you can't really express in person because no one would
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
So have you always sang? Like, were you singing as a kid?
Yes, I was
Okay.
singing as a kid. So I was trained in Carnatic Indian vocal training, which is
Wow.
a very like specific, like cutthroat, like it's a hard sort of training. The strictest of teachers. They are like scarier than my immigrant parents, honestly. In all transparency. And so I was trained in that from 4 years old to senior year of high school.
Okay.
And it was kind of the root, the base, like the skeleton of like my musicality. And then I also played instruments growing up. I played the violin and piano. I was in orchestras. Like that was my extracurricular. I was the dorky music kid. Still threw parties though. And I think that shaped kind of like my taste in music, the sound I've evolved into now. But it was just a starting point getting into like, you know, the performance aspect of it.
I remember seeing you showed me one of your old videos from when she was like 12 or maybe younger of her singing in the bathroom. Am I remembering this?
you, Frank Ocean.
I love that song.
Oh,
That
that
is
is
an
a banger of
amazing
a
song.
song.
Do you
But
know
even-
Frank Ocean's headlining Coachella this
Yes,
year?
I saw that,
Are you
and
going?
Oh,
I
yeah.
will be going for Frank Ocean.
Okay.
I will be going.
I
And
already
and
bought my pre-sale
A lot of other
tickets.
amazing art.
Amazing.
Kelly Uchis is that day. Jay Wolf is that day. Sajib is a really good friend of mine, and he's super
Awesome.
talented. So like, I want to go that day just to see all my favorite artists, support, and
Yeah.
like. Be
Okay, I was
here.
just going for Frank Ocean, but maybe you could make me a little list
A
about
li-
like
yeah.
all the other people I should
all
go
these
see.
stages,
Yeah.
fleshed out. Get your meal at this time.
Yeah, that would be great. Actually,
I
thank
got
you so much.
I got you.
Okay, great.
You're handled.
Okay, but even back then, like that video of you was so good. I feel like as
In your
soon as the day she opened her mouth to sing in front of me, I was just like, oh my God, how do you do that? I was like, can you do that again?
You're like a kid at a museum,
She
like,
would hum
mommy.
like the random, like something so random, like it's not even a song, and I'd be like, you're so good.
Also, Asha's worst nightmare is to be asked to sing in front of
Dude.
people. So I
Can we
think
have you
today
sing
is
right
the
now?
day that we have a duet.
I
Palpitations.
feel like we have sung together. Maybe drunkenly.
Okay,
but
drunkenly for sure, but okay, so for this acting school that I did in Paris for a week, it was a workshop while I was there, they asked me for the first day to prepare an a cappella song.
Shut up.
And a
This makes me
monologue.
laugh so
Monologue was
much.
great. Had that down. I was so excited for that. But then the a cappella song, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. And I emailed them and I
No
was like,
instrumental.
no
Just your
instrument.
voice.
Yes. And I'm not good at singing. My
Fun
brother-
fact, when I had to audition for the British American Dramatic Academy, I sang Buy You a Drink a cappella for my audition.
Okay, I actually truly have to see that. That is iconic. That is really cool.
Complete with the oohs, you know? Yeah.
I love that. That is.
But you know it's not
That's
ooh,
classic.
weeds and then?
No way, really?
Yes. Did you know that?
Wait, what?
You know when, I'm not going to sing it, but you
Wait,
know when
wait,
he goes,
wait,
I'm going to buy
actually,
you a
could you
drink, and then he goes,
We
ooh,
gotta
wee.
trick Ashvi into singing
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
I'm
does
gonna
it
figure out
go?
how to make this happen.
Okay.
Just give me some time, and you'll be
Just put
doing
some
it. You're like,
al-
whoa, what just happened?
Put some alcohol in me. No, I
Sir?
chose, sorry, can we get some? I chose Three Dogs Night, Joy to the World. It starts off
Are you
as
good?
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Okay, you're just trying to embarrass yourself. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for you.
That was the only one that I could sing without going, like croaking. And so, because I
At
tried.
least you were getting into character.
Listen,
I'm a
Yes.
frog. You're sounding like a frog.
Yeah, exactly.
And she got
That's
in,
beautiful.
so.
I got accepted, so
Yeah.
that's great.
They appreciated your art form.
But I emailed them. I was like, I am not a professional singer. Not
They were
even
like, "We know."
professional. I was like,
You're an actor.
"I'm not a singer."
But I've also heard a lot that if you really practice and you do vocal warm-ups, you can be decent.
This is the inevitable truth. Anyone can sing. Okay.
people say, right?
Yeah. It's just the training behind it.
Yeah.
You just have to try.
Great.
Some people are just tone deaf. I'm sorry. There are just some people that it's it's never gonna happen.
So
But
someone
most
did tell
people-
me I'm not tone deaf. So
Exactly.
because you know
Good.
what? I didn't tell you this, but I did take a singing class
Why didn't
a
you
couple
tell me
years
this?
ago.
I see you've been practicing piano too. I want to hear some La La Land
Why
shit.
does she say it's so
that.
villainous looking too? When she
I didn't tell you
Don't
this.
tell anyone.
I didn't tell you this,
I
but I
didn't
took
tell
a
you.
voice. I took a voice lesson, and she taught me how to sing, and I was like, dude, I'm the worst. She was like, you're not tone deaf, so that's good. And I was like, okay, great.
Honestly, if you're not tone deaf, you can learn to sing. It just takes conviction. If you're starting later, it's like learning a new instrument. I'm trying to learn guitar right now. I'm fucking awful, but if
You'll
you
get
practice
there.
every day for an hour, you'll be better than you were when you started. That's still something.
Okay, so now you're working at Google.
Yes.
But now you're about to come out with a debut album.
Yes.
Please walk us through how this happens.
How the album's created, or how I balance the
How
two.
you
or-
balance the
How
two.
you balance the two, but also just how you went from pursuing a professional job to
Yeah.
then deciding okay, this is not what I want my life to look like. I'm
Yeah.
also going to full-time pursue my music career.
Yeah, I think understanding and knowing that music was always going to be I was always going to come back to music. Started in college, actually. When I went through some hardships, and I'm looking
We
at
were
you
there
really
for
good.
some of those hardships.
Ashvi was there, and Kushi was there for some of those. My manager
Shut
was there
up.
for some of the hardships, and I think that really provoked this. I come off as a very just goofy, kind of relaxed, I guess, person, a little chaotic, but not that emotional. I'm very emotional, and music was my outlet for expressing that emotion. And in that moment, I dropped a mixtape with 4 or 5 songs. They were
Wow.
they were ass.
Oh wait, you know
Unlucky.
what? I listened to that one and I sent it to my ex-boyfriend and I was like, you have to hear this. This is so good. And he was like, why are you obsessed with her? And I was like, oh, am I coming off too strong?
Wait, where did you go to college?
I went to Indiana University Bloomington.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I knew Ashvi, because she went to Purdue. So we were
It's
2 hours
it's
apart.
rival colleges, but
Yeah.
not really.
The only reason I went to Purdue is because my ex-boyfriend was there. But then I met
Same.
Ashvi, and then I was like, fuck the boyfriend. I just want to be with her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We found each other through our boyfriends, and
did.
that was so great.
And that's how my music journey started too, literally, through the
Yeah.
experiences we shared together.
I have
honestly.
another clarifying question I need to know. What is
Yes.
your astrological sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay,
Fire
thank
sign.
you. I feel
Yes.
clarified
What are
now.
you?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay,
Because
that's
when
a
you were
water,
saying with all
air.
of these emotions, I was like, damn, she sounds like she's going to be a Cancer. Because I feel like this is also very similar to my personality.
See, I'm not a sad emotional person. I get angry. And I get angry and unhinged.
Okay,
So
not
I
me.
like to express that in my music. I'm an Aries moon.
This is all adding up.
I
I'm
also-
sad. I'm not very angry.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
yeah. Are very sweet, motherly.
Yeah.
I'm sad because I feel so much and I care so much. I'm fucking pissed and I don't.
I'm
fuck with
angry
you.
at the world.
I will actually ruin. We won't get into it. But I have a lot of fire. I did a Vedic astrology reading recently.
Okay.
And I actually realized they said I have an Aries rising as well. So I have a triple fire in Vedic astrology.
my
Because my rising right now is Taurus. So I have some earth and fire. I was a triple fire in that reading. And that frightened me.
You're like, I'm scared of
I'm
myself.
scared of myself. I've toned down a little bit, but there's a lot of fire. And I feel like that helped me kind of, like, music was my outlet for that fire. Because I needed some way to have an outlet and, like, speak about all these experiences and, like, things that were happening to me. And from there, I just kind of, I fell in love with the process of making music. I fell in love with the lyricism and, like, putting my own style and experiences into one song or, like, a project. And so after college, I graduated, and obviously, somehow, and I moved to LA, and that's where I dropped
Well,
my...
Anand didn't graduate, so it's not obvious.
I'm finally have something on my Indian counterparts.
Not all Indian people graduate college.
And they're still successful and are on streaming
Yes,
networks and
yes.
just comedians and doing cool things. I love it. That is the world we live in now, and that makes me so
Exactly.
happy. But yeah, so graduated college, moved to LA, dropped my first EP, had a couple like songs that did pretty well. I had a song in particular, Cloud Mine, that was like my first kind of take on fusion music, where I
It's in my head right now.
I'm a cloud mine. No, but it was like I incorporated some like Carnatic Indian tones
Wow,
into like
cool.
my normal R&B sound, and people really resonated with it. So from there, I was just like, this is the sound I want to continue doing while spreading the message that I've always been spreading through my life experiences to help people get through whatever they're going through in life. And so from there, I just kept releasing stuff, and that led to like this project I'm working on now. I just been performing a ton in New York City, and I got connected to an amazing producer in LA through one of my friends of a friend of Sajib, actually.
Amazing.
And we got connected, and I flew to LA, and we just started like shooting the shit and making music, and we literally wrote 3 songs in like 2 days. And they were all so like, I won't say they're good unless I really believe they're good. They are the best thing, like the best work I've ever created, because it was just like from scratch. We built these things with my voice, and with like, we sampled my voice, we brought in every instrument we wanted, I created the chord progressions. It was like a beautiful process. And so that was like the inception or eureka moment where I was like, this needs to be my debut album. And so I flew back out here. That's why I'm here, actually, also to speak with you guys, but to finish the last couple songs for the album. And that was the inception, I guess. It was a very spur-of-the-moment, spontaneous thing, which is kind of the theme of my whole life. There's never been one deciding moment that I've known what is going to happen in my life. It's just all like,
I mean, it all led up to this moment, too,
Yes.
right? Like, you have been preparing for this since you were 4.
Yep.
Well, your mom has been
my
preparing
mom's been hustling me. Get your singing vocal training done now.
Wait, isn't she a singer or a
My
vocal
dad is
coach?
a singer.
But your mom, I feel like I
My
have
mom
some
is
memory.
not musical at all. But you know what? She's a great supporter. She'll listen to anything I put out.
We
She
need
liked my first mixtape in college, so she's.
I liked it too.
Sometimes it's good to be tone deaf.
Yes.
Love you, but
They must be really proud of you, like working at Google, also pursuing your passion. Like that's a lot to have on
it
your
is the
plate.
Indian dream.
You're doing it right. My gosh, you really are doing it right.
This is the way that works for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I've always had that business kind of entrepreneurial spirit. I went to business school, and like I've always loved being a part of a community and like an organization where I can work on my professional skills. And it's just like reps for my brain. I'm getting sharper every day working at Google. I'm around intelligent people that are inspiring me to be great in my artwork and also be great as just a person and professionally.
Yeah.
So it's a great full-time job to have. And like, they are super supportive. They've invited me to like 3 or 4 events already to perform in front of hundreds of people in New York. I
That's
performed
amazing.
at Diwali, New York City. There were like thousands of people there. It was the
Wow,
scariest moment
that's
of my life.
insane.
It was actually so scary. I've never performed with that many people ever. So they're extremely supportive, and they're like family. Honestly, Google is like family. And
That's incredible that they're so supportive.
yeah, I wasn't expecting that, because all my jobs before that were like, we kind of compartmentalized. It was work, and then like I did my own thing, you know? And so yeah, that's really how I do balance it. I use the advantage of what this job gives me, and I make the most of it, and then I use whatever hours remaining to grind and like work on the second job.
And how do you avoid getting burnt? I know burnout is kind of dependent on the person and also how much you love your craft.
Yeah.
But still, no matter how much you love your craft, you're a human being. So you can't, even if you have triple fire energy, you can still get burnt out.
Baby, I burn out all the time.
Okay.
Oh
What do
my
you do
God.
when you burn out?
I don't do anything you guys would want to hear. Like, I am like the most self-destructive person. When I burn out, I'm like in bed. Like literally in bed, napping all day, every day. I don't get anything done. It's not even that I'm like not productive in music. My whole life is unproductive. when I burn
Everything's
out.
on pause.
And it's just like, that's the reality. It's the harsh reality of being in an industry where there are a lot of waves and ups and downs. I was talking to a friend who's an actor yesterday. It's like, you face a lot of rejection. You face a lot of periods of life where things are stagnant and you're like, okay, like I've lost it. You know, like I did a cool thing a couple months ago and now it's done. You know, and like, especially now it's like social media and short form content. It's so easy to feel burnt out when you like have a period of virality and then you're like, what now? You know, where do I go from here? So when I'm burnt out, I shut down, but I've really been trying to work on like bouncing back and getting into routine and giving myself grace and being like, this is rest. And rest always influences what I do after. Yeah. And when I'm well rested, I create great art. So it's okay to take that time.
For people who are just listening to this, I want to just note that she did this really cute thing when she was talking about how she stays in bed and she like covered herself, like she cuddled herself with a blanket, which just shows you that she's a bundler. And I respect a bundler.
I am a bundler. I'm a homebody. I respect my bed. Me and my bed have a special intimate relationship.
This is me. Yes. I've recently realized that I'm a lot like Winston Churchill, because I don't know if you realize that Winston Churchill gave orders from bed, and I feel like that is me to my boyfriend.
She does do that. Yeah.
That is me to Uber Eats. We have the same relationship. No. Come here now. Leave at door. Knock on door when here. Buzz up.
Why don't you know don't you have keys to my apartment?
Why can't you follow instructions? Like, Uber Eats never follows fucking instructions. I have to go down that elevator and pick up that food. The worst
and you have to leave the bundle.
You have to leave the bundle. It's like,
that's unbelievable.
Leave the bundle. That's a 10% tip instead of 15.
Winston would never accept that.
No. Ever. Maybe one day. One day I can just, you know, maybe robots will be serving us in the future and I want to
Maybe there'll be drones that come just
drop
open
it off
your
at the window.
That would be sick.
That would actually be life-changing.
Or even a carrier pigeon.
Oh, that too.
An owl?
Hogwarts up in this bitch. I love that. I would never leave bed if that was the case though. Like I would be burnt out
dangerous.
forever.
Yeah.
I'm so burnt out. Oh my god, I'm so burnt out.
Carrier pigeon, bring me my
So did you move to New York for Google or for singing?
On it again, my life has just been a series of random ass events. I was in LA for 2 years and I loved it here, but most of my experience here was during the pandemic. So it wasn't it wasn't the same, right?
Yeah.
And so my lease was ending in May. My brother's wedding was in July. So I was like, I'm gonna take some time off, put my stuff in storage, go travel a bit, go home for a bit, do the wedding, you know, be a good sister. Yeah. And then I'm gonna move back to LA. And I was still in this job, like the job before Google. So I go to New York actually. I sublet for a month just to test it out. Fall in absolute love. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing in LA? Like, this is my town. Gotham City is where it's at. Like, I'm sorry. And so I loved it, went to Chicago, whatever. I actually found an apartment like in LA in August. I was gonna move back. And my like best friend from LA was like, yo, I'm not moving back to LA. Cause she also traveled with me over the summer. She's like, I'm moving to New York. Like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. And I was like, I'm going with you.
Yeah,
I can't do this without you. Like, I need you. You're my Sagittarius counterpart. Blair, I love you. But like, she kind of pushed me because I already wanted to. I had this like inclination to be there and test it out for a year. So I signed a year-long lease, started the first half of the year in the job I got.
In what part of the city?
I was in Hudson Yards for the first year.
Yeah, like Chelsea, right? I was visiting.
Yes.
I was in New York that August when you moved, I remember. And you were in Chelsea or Hudson Yards,
very
around
close,
that area.
Kind of. You were around that area, I think, right?
I was at the Selena,
yes. In Chelsea. Yeah. Very close. So, yeah, I had the job before for the first half of the year. And then, like, a recruiter just reached out to me on LinkedIn about this job at Google, and I thought it was a scam, honestly. I was like, okay, whatever. I did a phone screening. 5 months later, I was in Paris, actually, at the time, and I had done my last round interview. I got a call.
It took 5 months to do this whole interview process?
5 months. I started interviewing December of 2021.
Wow.
I got the job in March. Like, I started in April. And so I got the call when I was in Paris, and I was just, and also when they called me, they were like, you have the job, but we don't have a start date for you yet. And I'm like, that is blue balling to the max. I cannot. Like, that is really upsetting. Eventually I got a start date in April, and it just happened. Like, it was so random. And like, I think after the second interview, I was like, I'm really liking this flow. I really like this position. Actually, I think this could work well for me. And I think they felt that energy in return. And it just like, I somehow knew that I was going to get the job in like the least cockiest way possible. It was more just like, I was vibing with everyone I was speaking to. I had all the experience needed to do the role. And so I was like, I think this is it. Wow. And it just happened. And then like I moved like a couple months ago to Soho, and now my life is just
so
like
jealous.
Developed into this like new,
amazing.
New chapter. Yeah.
That is literally the dream.
You're living the dream too.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Worldwide.
So nice.
Mrs. Londoner, Mrs. Worldwide, like living my dreams.
She was born in New Jersey. Never forget.
Oh yeah, I know that.
You know that.
I know that. I had to memorize your New Jersey address at one point.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I don't remember it. Was it like Rolling Ridge?
I have no idea.
I think it was Rolling Ridge.
Wow.
Rolling Ridge Drive.
Interesting.
Sorry, I don't want to out your address. But
I don't even know because I literally was born there and then we pieced out. We were living in Botswana at the
Yeah,
time. So,
yeah.
I mean, still now, but I was just born there for the
Rolling
boom
Ridge Drive. Bless up.
Bless
Represent.
up.
Represent.
I don't even know if she's right, you guys. I don't even think
I'm
was
right.
it Edison, New Jersey?
I have
There's
good
going to be listeners
I don't know if it was Edison.
outside.
It might have been Edison.
in Rolling Ridge, New Jersey.
Listen, I had to
Getting us
memorize
back
that.
Check you.
So many things I had to memorize that shit for some high stakes bar entries. I was like wearing my hair the way the middle part and like, you know, like the glam yet like really subtle, like glowy makeup. Like I was wearing the blazer you're wearing right now. I was
Oh,
like,
wow. Were you wearing these shoes?
I was, yeah.
I
You're copying me right now, actually.
Damn.
Like you are copying the version of me copying you. This is all Inception.
Okay, I want to go back to TikTok.
Yes.
So you are, well, not go back because we didn't even talk about it, but
Yeah.
you blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like you literally blew up. I remember seeing your content. You would post videos of you singing, but then you started doing. This is where Selena
happened.
Gomez meets Bollywood. You would do those types of videos.
What happens.
Yeah, she does this like ASMR type of voice when she says it.
I can't do it without it now.
Yeah, no, and I love it. It's like, and everyone's listening out for that. This is when da-da-da meets Bollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so good. But you started that. When did you start TikTok and when did you blow up and how did that change your singing career?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I started TikTok November of 2021. It was when I had just moved to New York, which is why I have such an affinity for New York because it brought out this energy in me that I did not have in LA.
Yeah.
And like, you know me in LA, I was just a different person. And so, actually, you didn't know me that much in LA.
Yeah.
You were not in LA. Or maybe you were.
Yeah.
My memory's foggy.
We had a pause in our relationship.
We did have a pause in our relationship for many years, actually. I haven't seen you in like 5 years. Literally 5 years.
This podcast is really taking a turn.
This is becoming a therapy session right now.
Yeah.
So,
After this, I'm going to see you every single day, talk to you every single day, and it's going to be.
Okay, we're back. So I started November 2021. The way like the first TikTok I made with that whole nuance that you said, it was so random. I actually was just doing a cover for Sad Girls Love Money because I love the song. And there was just a pause where I was like, do I do a full cover? Do I do 30 seconds? And then I was just thinking of Gia Jaleh for some reason. And I was like, Gia Jaleh. Like I was like, this would fit so well. And so I just laid down I just did it. It was so low stakes. I was like, I'm just gonna record it and see how it sounds. And I just filmed the video. When you see me saying this is what happens, it's in real time. I'm literally like, this is like what happens when you like combine an R&B song with Bollywood. It was truly just me like thinking out loud. And that's what created the phrase that was in every single video for the next 10 months, once a week. Wow. And so that video blew up. It was like the first video of that series and it got like 2 million views. I ended up doing like a full version that got like almost 1 million streams on Spotify, actually.
Wow.
Don't copyright me, please. But like, it really did super well. And it was, once I had the success of one, I had so much motivation and inspiration to keep going because I had so many like songs like from Bollywood that I knew that I wanted to mash up with like The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, like Khalid, like Selena Gomez. Like I just so many ideas.
Yeah.
And so I kept going and I think I started at like, I was at like 4K on TikTok when I started this, or like 5K, and now I'm at like 105K.
Amazing.
And like I actually stopped doing them as much just because now I'm focusing on original stuff. But I've built this listener base that is so loyal to my sound and they're really intrigued. And the beautiful part is that it's not just South Asian people, it's everyone. It's people of all colors, backgrounds, ethnicities, like everything. And they're intrigued with the sound itself. And like it's beautiful. It's really beautiful because I've never seen people appreciate our culture like this before, you know? And so that's why I was so inspired to create an album that embodies all of that, but also it represents the Western side of me that I am so fond of, but also the roots that I have so deeply with my parents' home country. And I think also the beautiful part about TikTok is you get real-time feedback from like your followers. Literally like years ago, the feedback you'd have is you release an album and then you'd see in the press how people reacted to it. Now you literally I can go on my TikTok and go to a viral video and look at hundreds of comments of people and see like, oh, I liked this part, or I really liked this sound, or like, I didn't like that. Like, oh, can you do this differently next time? And I'm like, it's helping me grow my artistry in a way I've never done before. So TikTok has always felt low stakes to me, and obviously more recently it's grown, and it's like grown me on Instagram and just like my listener base in general. But I really am fond of it. It's a nostalgic feeling for me, and like it's always going to be a part of the journey that I think of and think back on fondly. But it doesn't define me as an artist, which is something I'm very passionate about. Like it's just one piece of it.
Right. So did that lead you to, I mean, your Instagram following has grown significantly too. Was
Yeah.
it from TikTok that we're moving now to your Instagram, or was it from these shows that you were doing?
I think it was a combination of everything. So I was like posting all my TikToks on Reels, and Reels was definitely popping off too. But I was also getting really engaged in the community. I was going to events, I was meeting and collaborating with other creators, musicians, people in the scene that were doing really cool things. And
Yeah.
like we were just kind of growing together. And then also I did like a mini tour in New York City where I performed at like 8 or 9 venues. And I was just meeting new people, getting my sound out there, genuine connections. Like it was a beautiful experience. And I think all of that really got me a following that's loyal and just like here for the music and here for the sound and like invest in that way, which is beautiful because I would rather have that or no followers, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's the only way I'd want a following.
Of all of the collaborations that you did mixing Bollywood with like contemporary pop artists, which
Yeah.
is your favorite?
That's an amazing question. I think there's two. So there's one where I mixed Jealous Girl, which is an unreleased song of Lana Del Rey. It was like popping on TikTok at a point. It's like, it was like, baby, I'm a gangster too.
Yes,
And it takes,
yeah.
So I mixed that with Silsila Ye Chahat Ka,
Oh,
which is
that-
from Devdas, which is a classic.
good.
And that one did really well. And I'm actually sampling Silsila in like a song in the debut album. And I just love that song. I love the meaning of it. I love the aesthetics of like the video. Like Aishwarya Rai, she's a bombshell. Like it's just a classic bread and butter Bollywood song. So I really like that one. I also
I
did.
can't wait for that.
I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
Have we talked about when it comes out?
February 27th is the tentative release date.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll stay that way.
Dependent
It's
on how
really
it goes.
tough with distribution and stuff. It might take more time, but we're on track for February 27th.
Cool.
I think the second one is a weekend, like MASH. I did so many weekend ones, but the weekend with Dal. So I did
I remember that
The
one.
Hills with Dal Se Dal, which is another Aishwarya Rai, like classic, like bread and
Yeah.
butter Bollywood song. And it was like a fan favorite for the South Asian people, but it was also like, these are such sultry, like really interesting sounding songs with elements they've never heard of. And it was intriguing for people that weren't South Asian. And I think that's what I loved the most about it. It's very synonymous to the sound I'm trying to create now with my music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
I actually met, I was at a wedding in Mexico December, and for Indian weddings, you have this event called Sangeet, and it's like a music night, and we did a dance because you always like do a dance for your people.
see this.
But then I'll show you a video. But there was a guy, one of the cousins of the groom, such a talented singer,
Yeah.
so talented, and he did the same thing as you with the Bollywood and the
Yep.
and the
Bollywood,
Western.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yep.
And his voice was so good. I literally went up to him. I was like, and he lives in New York. He's single. He's 23.
Oh, okay.
No, but he like
Goodbye.
he said he was like, yeah, but I like him older.
He likes them older specifically.
Oh my god.
He's very handsome. My gosh, he is so handsome. Way too young for me, but so talented. And I told him about you. I was like, you need to collab with SANJ because both of you have such like kind of similar voice.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yes.
You know.
And
So-
collaborating with a
qualities.
male voice
Yes.
it's just such a ethereal
And
sound.
he's heard of you.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was like, she does the TikToks with this is where hot
Yeah,
something
yeah,
meets
yeah.
Bollywood, and he was like, wait, I know that.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll
That's-
reach out to her.
People
But
know that
also
phrase.
the way that Brian is learning one of these dances for a wedding that he has in
Shut
June.
up.
My
so
boyfriend.
her boyfriend
That's
has a bunch of
incredible.
Indian friends because he grew up in the Bay Area.
Yeah. That is incredible. I have to. I've seen you dance. I need to see that.
Yeah.
I need
Yes,
to see that.
I need to see
Mosh
that
is
too.
gonna be correcting him over FaceTime most likely.
No, we're gonna
we
hit
kind of
this way,
share him as a
Wait, he's
boyfriend.
her boyfriend too.
Yeah.
He
Thruple.
calls me number one and her number two.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
We'll
okay. We've
unpack
been
that
together
later.
for 7 years.
Like she's
so,
had it
you
for
know,
7 years.
Yeah.
It's like time to, like
Change things up. Yeah. Actually, at USC.
Oh my-
Fight
oh.
on.
we
I
go.
insisted on having us here today.
Please
Ew.
don't plug
I'm
Purdue
not a
on this
Purdue
podcast.
person. I'm a Wisconsin person.
Yes, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Botswana, London.
England.
New Jersey forever.
Come on, girl.
I know all your places of residence. So Rolling Ridge, New Jersey.
Rolling Ridge, New Jersey. Just show up there. I'll be there for a meet
You're
and
gonna have
greet.
so many like hidden request DMs. Like I am at Rolling Ridge Lane right now.
In New Jersey. I am in New Jersey.
Osh goes on like a rich mom walk in New Jersey.
In Rolling Ridge, all of the Rolling Ridges in New Jersey, if there even is one.
There-
I think you made it up. I'm going to fact check you on that.
Fact check me.
Anand had no idea that I was born in New Jersey, and she brought it up, and I was like, what's
I've been bringing it up
very
so many
random.
times.
It's very
It
random.
is the most exotic part about
It's
me, and
my
that is what
favorite thing.
stops people in their tracks.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool because you have this exotic, like such a like rich background of places you're from, and then you're like, I was born in New Jersey though. Like,
I think it keeps her grounded.
It does.
Yeah. Can't get more grounded than African.
And before this, not everyone had to know, but like now they do. The only reason I knew is because I use it for legal activities.
You just knew everything.
And if you don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, well, now you know.
And speaking of things that I'd like to know.
Yes.
Okay, so do
Great
you have
transition.
like
Oh, very good. I'm very impressed.
do you have like a morning routine or healthy habits that you feel like you need to stick by, even if it's like, your time to bundle? We want to hear about it. What do you think allows you to be you?
Yeah. I'm a huge, call it basic. I'm a huge self-care person.
I love that.
Yeah. I think I've gotten in my self-care bag being in New York and living alone for the first time since literally
Congratulations.
forever. Thank you. It's been amazing. I get into my skincare bag. I like to take baths. I like long
Love a
hot
bath.
showers. I try to hit the gym. I pay for it, but it's hard. I'm still a bundler, as you said. I think those daily routine habits ground me, but I'm also a big notes taker. I guess journaling is a thing, but it's on my notes app, so it's very non-glamorous, like how you see those bullet journals on TikTok. No, it's weird titles of you hurt me, or do this today, or things I've thought about, just really things.
You hurt me.
Yeah. I like to express. I like to put a lot of the thoughts that I have on paper and see them tangibly, and I think that's a way that it's also a process of songwriting, but it also just lets me release.
I like
and
that.
I think I try to instill that in my life every day in some way, shape, or form. And I like to reflect on things that maybe in the moment I was that sucked today, and be like, why did it suck? How can we turn this narrative around? It sucked, but I got to do this instead, or I got to be home instead, or I try to flip the script and stay as positive and optimistic as possible, because the world has a lot of negativity to offer.
Yeah.
So
And
I protect my energy.
It's such a self-motivating. We talk about this all the time. We're both actors. It's such a self-motivating career.
Yep.
For you as well. You're the only one pushing yourself to get better and better. There's no bonuses or promotions or.
Absolutely. I think the mantra I've been living by is fake it till you fucking make it.
Yeah.
Truly, even if you come off, my brother was telling me this, and he is not the type to give me advice that he doesn't mean. He's he has conviction when he says something, and he never talks to me. So when he does, I'm like, talk to me now. Please tell me words. He was like, you're at the point where you just need to be overconfident. You know what I mean? You just have to wake up and be over fucking confident, because obviously I've worked to the point where I feel like I owe it to myself to give myself some credit, but also even if you haven't gotten to the point you want to be, the only way you're going to or have a chance to is to know and manifest and be as confident as possible that it will happen.
Yeah.
Even if it seems so far-fetched.
Yeah.
And every time I've had that attitude, it's ended up working itself out.
I love that. I'm
So
going to
just-
start doing that.
You have to.
I literally sometimes, because I've been having a lot of imposter syndrome lately. I don't know. Have you ever had imposter syndrome?
Every day. I said
Okay.
fake it. I don't actually believe
You don't mean it.
every day.
Yeah, so I've been really struggling with that until I went to Paris, and also Paris
Oh
was
my
in New
God,
York for
until
me.
she went to
You
Paris.
in Paris I was living.
You
my
were
Paris with
living
that.
for me.
I was replying your DMs every day like I was a thirsty
what are you
boy.
doing? What are you eating? What are you eating?
Where's that?
Stay
Coming
there,
now.
don't come back to America.
I'm trying to make her have this New York phase, the way she feels about Paris. She came to film in my film, we haven't even talked about this yet, this past weekend in New York. And I made her a yogurt parfait the second she walked in. I had lit
It was such a
candles
nice
before,
treatment.
and I was trying to be see how nice this place is that you could live.
I'm
and
gonna hit you
take
up
my
after
life.
this. We're friends now.
Yeah, no, now
Our
we're gonna be,
friends. She
yeah.
lives in Tribeca, so you guys are
my
very
God.
close.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
literally-
really close. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Damsels in the DMs. As always, please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcast. That always helps us to create more content for you all.
Yeah, and we are still listening to your voice memos, and we are checking the anonymous type forms. I don't even know what to call them, but that I created a new name for it. Yeah. And we want to know what you think of the podcast, of the rebrand. If you like it, you don't, anything you want us to change, or just some words of praise, because we like that too.
Please continue to send us the DMs for the guests. Those are super helpful when we ask them our DM of the Week questions. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Damsels in the DMs.
Until next time.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.
DMs, we don't need them, we just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.